11.5 to 1, Fagan. That is a huge difference. We're going 7 to 1, but you could put up all sorts of prices for Fagan, judged by the ring. Vicenti at 8, Ballyoptic, the youngster at 11, Doing Fine, who's always promised to win a big one, at 11 to 1. Sizing Tennessee at 12. Vintage Clouds at 12, Glencairn View at 12 and 14's par. And remember, Noel Feely, the rider of Doing Fine, doing the lowest weight he has ridden at all season. It's really going to take it out of him in the heat.
Well, I wanted to get you, I think another horse that this has been the plan for is number 21, Doing Fine, and he really did knock your eye out in the paddock.
I'm going to go for Sizing Tennessee. I tell you, a nervous person watching this, Kathy Bowen. Husband, sons, both involved.
Yeah, well, you know, the big thing for Sean and James, they're riding for their dad, and how proud they will be. You know, Karen is here. I've seen her walk in with Rebecca.
Actually, to the start now, look at them all the jockeys, look at them all, the heads moving, all chatting each other. I want to be here, I want to be there. Look out, mine jumps left. You can see Sam, listen. See, fantastic to get this close to the action. So they're just jogging in. You can see Bridget just out the back. You can hear the starters saying, walk, jockeys, walk. The minute these horses break into a canter, then it's a start where they have to stand up. But they're off and running for the Scottish National.
So here we go, 27 fences. Still Sol is one of those prominent, along with Vintage Clouds, as they head towards the first straight. The Hannah not too far away, likewise Cockery. At this stage, Ballyoptic settle towards the inside, and about 15th or 16th place as they arrive at the first, at which they largely unblemished. The Young Master was the one who came down at the first. The Young Master is the one who is out of the race at fence number 1. Vintage Clouds with Silsol, then looking well, Sizing Cadelco up on the outside as they all take fence number 2. Amongst the back markers over it, we had the likes of Fact of the Matter and also Regal Flow as they continue on towards fence number 3, which will be the first of the open ditches. And out in front, it is Silsol who continues to show the way. Silsol stepping over, leading the field as they continue their progress down the back straight and continue on towards fence number 4. And over the fourth, it will be the noseband on the outside of Alzamar, who continues to lead the field in these very early stages. The one that's a little bit detached is Boa Island as they head on towards fence number 5. Alzamar leading Silsol. Vintage Clouds took it in third. Straightener Hannah made a bad mistake in midfield. Straightener Hannah currently is racing in about 7th or 8th place as they continue their progress and work their way round back towards us with still best part of 2.5 circuits to go. So Silsol it is who leads, Alzamar in second. The grey with the green cap is Vintage Clouds in third. Gold Prospect shows in fourth. Cogbury racing on the running rails. They turn away. I think it was Indy 5 who may have gone at fence number 2, who was a little bit behind the others as they make their way up the home straight with Vintage Clouds on the outside of Alzamar towards the inside. Silsol. Gold Prospect comes next, just ahead of, in 5th place, Sizing Cadelco. Vicenti's currently in about 6th place as they take the first up the home straight, with Rather B tracking them. Cockery's on the inside running round about 8th or 9th. A Fact of the Matter comes next. Get on the Jaeger, and being pulled up is Glencairn View. Glencairn View has pulled up rapidly on the approach to that fence, and he is out of the race as the leaders make their journey up the home straight for the first time. Alzamar leading Gold Present, who now moves through to take the lead. So Gold Present leads Alzamar and Silsol. Behind these, in 4th place, is the grey, which is Vintage Clouds. Joe Farrell's just behind the leaders in company with Vicenti as they take the next. Sizing Cadelco in about 8th or 9th. Looking Well comes next. Straightener Hannah with Pearl Swan in mid-division. Completed a circuit. Get on the Jaeger racing in midfield in about 12th or 13th. Fact of the Matter from Henry Parry Morgan as they complete the turn away from the stands. Regal Flow at this stage. Fagan 2/3 of the way back through the field with Labelle des Obeaux in company with Ballyoptic. Amongst those towards the back early on, Doing Fine is currently towards the rear of the field as they turn away. A circuit for those that are continuing safely under their belts.
Indeed, and look at the red cap, 3/4 of the way back, right on the inside, following that loose horse. That is Fagan, your favourite, with Davy Russell in the saddle. Now, the loose horse, he's hoping, won't give him any problems. The rest of the field are penning him in, but one of the best views on the here is Luke Harvey, who's down at one of the obstacles.
Absolutely tremendous, mate. They're doing 35 miles an hour. Gold Present goes there and flies the fence as they go down the back straight.
Real at the back of the field, I think Racing Europe may well have pulled up. Just to confirm, it was Indy 5 who went at fence number 2. So Gold Present out in front from Alzamar Vintage Clouds. Sil Sol races in 4th place. Joe Farrell and Vicenti the next 2 from Cogri, Stradner, Hannah as they settle down into a racing rhythm. Pearl Swan with Regal Flow in midfield get on the Jaeger, and Henry Parry Morgan looking well towards the inside with Fact of the Matter. Bally Optic on the outside of Fagan. They're still well back at this stage with La Belle des Obeaux as they take the next, and that means we're heading towards the halfway stage. Boa Island is still the one that's a little bit out of touch. Beware the Bear is also being ridden. Ben Benz is another who is a long way back in the field to take down the back this circuit, and the leaders all appear to be over safely, indeed the whole field, although Racing Europe is actually continuing, but he's completely towards the back of the field as they make their way over the next fence. Racing Europe, one from the back in company with Boa Island as they turn away. One that has been pulled up is Sizing Tennessee. So Sizing Tennessee is out of the race as well. So out in front, half a length advantage for Gold Present, who shows the way from Vintage Clouds in second. 7 lengths back to Alzamar as these two press on. Joe Farrell shows in 4th place, then Sil Sol. Sizing Cadelco is on the inside with Cogri. Vicenti's got a nice spot in 7th with Pearl Swan. Then behind these we have Fact of the Matter as the leaders head towards the first up the home straight, and we're only just passing the halfway stage. Towards the back, Beware the Bear. So Racing Europe is continuing, but he is towards the tail. Ben Benz is another who is quite well back as they take that with Work de Bretto, and Fagan has quite a little bit to do at halfway stage. He's just in the rear divisions at this stage. The grey just jumping about 6 or 7 from the back. Boa Island and Racing Europe continue towards the tail. So racing over the next Gold Present, it is who leads the way. Gold Present from Vintage Clouds. Sizing Cadelco, Sil Sol. Behind these in 5th place is Joe Farrell. Alzamar in 6th with Cogri racing in 7th. Vicenti wider out, White Sleeves with the noseband. Fact of the Matter and Regal Flow are the next 2 with West Approach in midfield. Get on the Jaeger comes next. La Belle des Obeaux on the outside of Doing Fine. Then Henry Parry Morgan looking well behind these. At the back, Boa Island is being pulled up, and Racing Europe, who's been struggling for a while, is about 10 to 12 lengths behind the other runners and may well also be shortly pulled up. So turning away with the circuit to travel, Gold Present it is who leads from Vintage Clouds in 2nd. Sil Sol is 3rd with Sizing Cadelco and Joe Farrell making a wave of 3 pursuing the leader. Fact of the Matter on the outside of Cogri as they turn away. Pearl Swan is in that next little cluster as well. West Approach tracking the leaders. Regal Flow comes next, Doing Fine just beginning to creep a little bit closer on the inside running rail. Vicenti's never been too far away, currently showing in midfield. Then La Belle des Obeaux as they head out on their final circuit, led by the grey. Vintage Clouds on the outside of Gold Present, 9 to take in the Scottish Grand National. And over in front, Vintage Clouds it is who takes it in the lead as they head down the back straight for the final time. Stradner Hannah's struggling towards the back of the field as 8 to take. Vintage Clouds leads from in 2nd Gold Present. Joe Farrell towards the outside takes it in 3rd place. Behind these, Sizing Cadelco in 4th. Sil Sol being ridden. West Approach is getting closer. Vicenti towards the outside, and Bally Optics creeping into it. Get on the Jaeger has been pulled up before taking that fence as they head towards the open ditch, which is 7 from the finish. Vintage Clouds giving his rider a great spin out in front, continues to show the way. It's Vintage Clouds leading by 2. In 2nd, Joe Farrell, and the inside Gold Present. Vicenti's into 4th. Sizing Cadelco comes next as they approach the next fence, at which Sizing Cadelco took a chance. Sil Sol comes next. Bally Optic is trying to get into contention as well as the leaders. Vintage Clouds come towards the next, got in a little bit close. It's Vintage Clouds who continues to show the way. Vintage Clouds out in front from in 2nd place Joe Farrell. In 3rd then is Gold Present. 4th for Fact of the Matter with Vicenti sweeping round the outside. The hat-trick's on here. Pearl Swan from Sizing Cadelco, then Bally Optic being ridden. West Approach, the orange colours, travels up okay. Then La Belle des Obeaux, Regal Flow, Sil Sol's lost ground and Doing Fine. Vintage Clouds pursued by Joe Farrell and Vicenti with 4 to take in the Coral Scottish Grand National. Joe Farrell moving up for Adam Wedge to have a crack here at long-time leader Vintage Clouds. Back in 3rd place is Vicenti. Pearl Swan moves into 4th. Bally Optic in 5th. Then Fact of the Matter in 6th place and La Belle des Obeaux. And it's Joe Farrell who moves to the lead over the final ditch from Vintage Clouds in 2nd. Bally Optic in 3rd. No further progress from Vicenti. Pearl Swan has moved through into 4th place over the second last. And out in front it is Joe Farrell who leads. Bally Optic continues to stay on to press for 2nd with Vintage Clouds, but it's Joe Farrell for Rebecca Curtis and Adam Wedge being pursued by Bally Optic. Didn't see a stride at the last and has lost momentum. Joe Farrell on the near side, Bally Optic with half a length to find. Joe Farrell, Bally Optic is surging on the far side. Out in front, Joe Farrell, Bally Optic's coming. It is a very close finish. The heads were going either way. The jockey's right past the line. Joe Farrell and Bally Optic, they are clear from Vintage Clouds. Doing Fine maybe next home with Vicenti and La Belle des Obeaux, and behind those sizing Codelco. This is close because it's very hard to work out exactly where the head on the far side is on the line. There, Joe Farrell has it won, but look at the dive for Bally Optic. That is so close. Where is Bally Optic's nose in that photo? Joe Farrell will be an unlucky loser, steadied slightly going into the last. Bally Optic's got close. In third was Vintage Clouds, who set the race up nicely. If we roll on for fourth, you'll see that we got Doing Fine coming home in fourth. For those that play more places, Vicenti and La Belle des Obeaux are fifth and sixth. Pearl Swan is seventh. This might take some sorting out. On even strides it went to Joe Farrell, but where were the nostrils of Bally Optic when they went past the line?
Just like last week at Aintree, we're on tenterhooks. Will it be 22 or will it be 4? 22 is Joe Farrell, 4 is Bally Optic. Similar colours too for these two brave horses. It looked like this horse, Joe Farrell, jumping the last, would run away and win under Adam Wedge for Rebecca Curtis, who's never even been to Scotland herself, let alone have a runner here. Her first runner at Ayr has performed brilliantly, but is it enough against Bally Optic? Here we go.
First place, first number 22, Joe Farrell.
He's held on. And that's a nice sporting touch. Fair play to Tom Bellamy. But the Coral Scottish Grand National's been won by Joe Farrell for Messrs Sherwood, Morris and Curtis. And Rebecca Curtis has come to Scotland and lifted their biggest prize, Mick.
I'm absolutely delighted for her because she's had a really tough time the last couple of seasons. So this is a welcome tonic for her.
And well done, Adam Wedge, Rishi.
Adam Wedge has just won the Scottish Grand National on her very, very brave Joe Farrell.
He stuck his head out like an absolute lion for me after the last. I could feel Belsey getting to me all the way, and he's absolutely tried his heart out.
Adam, at the last, did you think that the little error there may have cost you?
I think it might have, but he hasn't stopped.